You're watching South Asia Newsline and here are the top stories we are tracking for you on Wednesday, the 6th of September. Jaishankar says G20 summit to be defined by positions taken, not leaders' attendance. Pakistani family struggles to pay electricity bill that takes up entire paycheck. And Hindus in Nepal and India celebrate Janmashtami. And now for all the details. India's Foreign Minister S. Jaishankar on Wednesday said absence of Chinese President Xi Jinping and Russia's President Vladimir Putin from the G20 summit in New Delhi is not unusual, as various leaders had skipped the summits in the past. In an interview to ANI, Jaishankar said the absence of the two leaders will not affect the negotiations to produce a consensus communique, as country's position will be reflected by whoever is the representative on that occasion. He added G20 is very much a collaborative forum and not the arena for power politics. Highlighting the expectations from the summit, he said G20 nations coming to Delhi will understand the responsibility that they bear and they cannot afford to fail the other 180 countries of the world that are looking to them to set directions.
At different points of time in G20, there have been some presidents or prime ministers who, for whatever reason, have chosen not to come themselves. But that country and that country's position is obviously reflected by whoever is the representative on that occasion. So there's a lot of goodwill that we have, and again, I stress to you, I am confident that every one of the G20 coming to Delhi will understand the responsibility that they bear, will understand today that the other 180 countries of the world are looking to them to set directions, and that they cannot afford to fail them.
India on Tuesday voiced concern over the working methods of the UNSC Sanction Committee, terming it a dent on the credibility of the UN Security Council. Speaking during the Council debate on working methods, Indian envoy to the UN, Ruchira Kamboj, said genuine evidence-based listing proposals for globally sanctioned terrorists blocked without giving any due justification is uncalled for, a veiled reference at China and Pakistan. She added such moves are smacks of doublespeak when it comes to Council's commitment in tackling the challenge of terrorism.
The working methods of the United Nations Security Council sanctions committees continue to dent the credibility of the UN Security Council. For genuine, evidence-based listing proposals for globally sanctioned terrorists to be blocked without giving any due justification is uncalled for, and smacks of doublespeak when it comes to the Council's commitment in tackling the challenge of terrorism. The working methods of sanctioned committees must emphasize transparency, objectivity in listing and delisting, and should not be based on political considerations.
The Indian ambassador also stressed over expansion of permanent membership at the UNSC and said there is a need for Security Council that better reflects the geographical and developmental diversity of the United Nations. She said the refusal to give member states of the Global South a voice and role in Council's decision only lowers the Council's credibility. The reform measures by Pakistan government in view of the IMF bailout have taken a toll on the common public. People are struggling to pay inflated electricity bills, which in some cases are even more than their monthly paycheck. A report.
47-year-old silversmith Fahim Mohammad Naeem was one of the many hundreds across Pakistan who were protesting a sharp jump in their electricity bills recently due to higher tariffs and increased tax, as the country faces brisk inflation after securing an IMF loan of $3 billion. Naeem says he cannot afford to pay the electricity bill, which came up to 24,532 rupees, as his monthly paycheck is only 30,000 rupees. The family had only been using 2 light bulbs and a ceiling fan very sparingly these days, but the bills keep soaring month after month.
महंगाई इतनी हो गई है, बाबा बहुत ज़्यादा परेशान रहने लगे हैं और बिल भी बहुत ज़्यादा आते हैं। अब इस वजह से बाबा कहते हैं कि मैं तुम्हारी पढ़ाई अफोर्ड नहीं कर सकता हूँ, तो अब मुझे डर है कि मेरी पढ़ाई ना इस वजह से छूट जाए।
Pakistan's inflation rate stayed above target at 27.4% in August, while it is embarking on a tricky path to economic recovery. Naeem's workplace is a tiny room where he sits with an apprentice repairing gold and silver jewelry. He said that although the 8-hour working time has been almost cut by half because of power outages, the power bill at his workshop has doubled. He fears losing his job now.
अगर ऐसे ही मामला चलते रहे तो एक दिन हमें कारखाना बंद करना पड़ जाएगा, मालिक को हमें नौकरी से निकाल देंगे, वो उजरत नहीं मिलेगी, कुछ नहीं होगा, तो हम कैसे कमाएंगे? ऐसे डेट पे आ जाएंगे कि सारा वाइंड अप करना पड़ जाएगा हर चीज़।
The UN World Food Programme had to cut rations to another 2 million Afghans this month and is warning of a catastrophic winter if funding runs out with little food for remote communities in place. WFP country director said 3 million people are now getting food aid, but after October they might be getting nothing. They need $1 billion in funding to carry out their projects until March. For Kabul resident Baba Karim, the cash he has got twice this year from the WFP was being a vital supplement to the less than $2 a day he earns working odd jobs. Development assistance that for years formed the backbone of government finances has been cut and current Taliban administration is subject to sanctions. Restrictions by the Taliban on women, including stopping most female aid staff from working, are an obstacle to formal recognition and have also put off the donors. Moving on, the Maldives is set to hold the crucial presidential election on September 9. The election comes at a time when incumbent President Ibrahim Mohamed Soli's Maldivian Democratic Party has been fractured by a major split. Observers believe the outcome will have ramifications for geopolitics in the wider region. Soli, who promotes close ties with his country's huge neighbor with an India-first policy, appears to be slightly ahead in the polls. The coalition backing this main rival, Mohammad Muizu, has a record of being close to China, promising to remove a small Indian military presence in the region. India and China have both invested millions of dollars in infrastructure in the islands as they seek to build goodwill and influence. The Office of the UN High Commissioner for Human Rights on Tuesday raised concern over reports of intimidation and harassment of human rights advocates and civil society leaders through legal proceedings in Bangladesh and called on authorities to create a safe environment for human rights defenders to continue their operations. In a statement, UN Rights Chief Spokesperson Ravina Shamdasani said legal harassment of civil society leaders like Nobel laureate Muhammad Yunus and other dissenting voices is a worrying sign for civic and democratic space in Bangladesh, and such cases will represent important tests for the independence of the judiciary in Bangladesh. The UN body also voiced concern over the upcoming cyber security law and called on Bangladesh Parliament to ensure that the new law is not used to suppress freedom of expression in the country. Devotees across India on Wednesday thronged temples to celebrate the festival of Janmashtami, which marks the birth of Lord Krishna. They performed prayers, sang devotional songs, and some of them also observed fast to mark the occasion. This year, the festival will be celebrated for 2 consecutive days. According to Hindu belief, Lord Krishna took birth to kill his maternal uncle Kans, the demon king of Mathura city.
Throughout the day, we have special musical concerts, bhajans, kirtans, and all the devotees who visit the temple will get to see the beautiful Alankar of the Lord, hear the wonderful Sankirtana, witness the Abhishek of the Lord, and also have Krishna Prasadam.
Meanwhile, serpentine queues spread across the Patan Darbar Square in Nepal as thousands of devotees thronged an ancient Krishna temple on the occasion. Lord Krishna is considered the 8th incarnation of Lord Vishnu, the god of protection. Some children and infants dressed up as Lord Krishna and his consort Radha were the main center of attraction in the UNESCO World Heritage Site area.
किन जन्माष्टमीको दिन अब आज भोलि हाम्रो व्रत बस्ने भोलि नक्षत्रबाट अब आज चाहिँ नि मकैसकै उसिनेर खाइन्छ अनिखेरि पूजाआजा गरिन्छ बत्ती बालिन्छ अखण्ड बत्ती बालिरहन्छ भगवानको लागि सारै नै प्राणै दिइन्छ भन्ने यति भनेर
That's all in tonight's edition. We will see you same time tomorrow. Good night.